I had like one piece of hair left, chopped it off, and then I got more chemotherapy and went bald.
You know, seeing these kids that basically get their bodies knocked down to nothing in order to get this cancer out is just, it breaks your heart.
And your body can respond different ways, from your hair falling out, to being nauseous, to being tired, to getting sick, like a literal cold. But it feels worse than a cold because you're killing everything, so you can't fight anything.
You know, having the ability to live a normal life while going through something like this, because, you know, you only have one chance at life, and, you know, having a better outcome, a better daily life, and all of that just makes the biggest difference, especially in a child's life.
And then I saw the specialist. He ordered me an MRI just to be safe. Then when I went to the hospital,
And the head of pediatric neurosurgery, it was like, why are you here? So he was like, did they tell you why you're here? We're like, not really.
Basically, they just told me, like, they just kind of broke the bad news and told me I had acute lymphoblastic leukemia, B cell.
So I think in the beginning I was like really in denial. I had a hard time telling people. I had a hard time when people reached out and asked me questions.
Can you kind of put yourself back to when it all started and kind of what you were thinking, how it came about, like what were the symptoms, like how did it all start?
Absolutely. So when he was diagnosed, he was about 6 weeks old, and I had noticed that his eye was going to the side. Sure enough, they found a brain tumor behind his eyes, pushing on his optic nerve, and that's where our journey began.
Because the tumor was that big, he kind of let us know, yeah, she's gonna need surgery.
You know, they give you this huge binder and go through it, and they're just like saturating you with so much information. At the same time, you're thinking about cancer.
And at the time, like, my thoughts were like, well, I have cancer. Am I gonna die?
So cancer treatments for children have really changed outcomes, and we've seen a steady improvement in survival rates in most childhood cancer diagnoses.
I ended up getting a lot of edible arrangements. But I did not want to leave the hospital bed. I did not want to see other children. I just remember, like, I just didn't want to be there.
It's not only the fear and anxiety of childhood cancer, but then time away from school and friends and practice and social relationships that are just such critical parts of that stage of life. And when that's all taken away, those things really take a toll on our kids.
I spent 2 weeks at the hospital and then at Kennedy Cougar. Did I say it right this time?
Kennedy Cougar.
I was there for a month, which is where I did speech, occupational therapy, and physical therapy. And of course the playroom. For school, I'm going part-time this year just to see how I feel it out. That way we have a plan for next year.
I want every kid to just be on a targeted therapy and not a chemotherapy. You know, Darren is a walking proof that advances and all of that makes a difference. And I just want him to be able to be hope for somebody else who's the same situation.
I looked up a stat, and it was like 3% of the government's funding goes to pediatric cancer research. And I just feel like that's just not enough.
And so, as a field, we are so much more reliant on other sources of funding, and that's where the giant support has truly made a difference and is so meaningful.
Yeah, so I think there will be one day, hopefully, there will be enough research to come up with less toxic chemos. It not only will help me, but it will also help kids in the future who get diagnosed with any type of cancer.
Their worlds are being rocked. Research is going to make sure that those kids get the best care that they need. So, thank you. Makes a difference.